Hey designers, Jessica here, and as you might have noticed on Creative Market, I just released 4 sets of Impressionist brushes, and all the designers so far have been really going crazy about them. And I'll just give you a little sample here, and you can see this is a sample from my Impressionist Brush Studio. This is also a sample from my Impressionist Brush Studio, but using the Masters Color Blend collection. Here is a sample of my Romantic English Garden brush. And then for the last one, these are also available for free download, is the Palm Beach Garden Party watercolor style brush. So you may be looking at these and going, what's going on? What's happening here? I have never seen this before. And well, actually, you probably haven't. This is something that I kind of discovered and stumbled upon in my experiments with illustration within Photoshop. And as somebody who comes from a design background and not an illustration background, I'm always looking at Photoshop and how it can save me time, how it can, hack something to do something faster, whether it's actions, whether it's brushes, whether it's layer styles, and all of this. And I've done some brushes before, but I haven't, mainly I've done layer styles, which have been really popular. But for my own illustration exploration that I've been doing for this last year, I've stumbled upon some really cool little hacks in Photoshop, and I've been using them for myself for months now. But I just decided that, you know what, I need to share this with everybody and some of these new techniques, and I think it will make a really good product. And not only that, then it comes to the point of like, how do you package this? How do you make it so that whether the designer is at the, entry level Photoshop, just a hobbyist starting out, that they can use it, all the way up to the experts who use this all the time, but maybe not be using this technique. And right now, before my brush set, there was no brushes using this pattern stamp tool. And almost all brushes are saved either as an ABR or a tool preset. Some of them might be saved as a mixer brush, which I use the mixer brush all the time as well in my illustrations. But generally, this tool here, almost nobody uses it, or some people might use it for photo editing. They might use it for backgrounds or clouds, or I don't know, something like this, but it's really not utilized very much. And so I was just playing around with it, and I realized that there's also this setting within the pattern stamp tool. Up here, click Impressionist. So if you do this, now if you just leave the pattern stamp as it is and paint with it, it's going to paint your pattern exactly as it is. So it's okay for some things, but generally with Photoshop brushwork, it's not going to be really helpful. It's going to have the shape of whatever brush is, but it's going to be, the image of your pattern is just going to be exactly as it is. But if you click on this Impressionist setting, what that does is it takes all the colors that are in your pattern and spits them out as you do your brush. Well, for most brushes, if you just take a regular brush, click Impressionist, it's probably not going to look that good. And I actually think I took all my default brushes out for this tutorial, but if you just take, I'll just do something here to kind of give you an idea. I'm going to take one of my brushes, and let's see here, let's bring up the brush window. Okay, let's just turn off all these extra settings. So we've just got this brush tip. So normally if you go pattern brush stamp and you don't have anything set, but you have Impressionist selected here, it's going to look like this. Well, that does not look that great. I mean, it might be useful for something, but in the general idea, this is not the look we're going for. So what I did was I specially tweaked all these brushes to make really cool effects, so that whenever you're brushing and using these color patterns that I've made, it comes out and all the brushes mix in a totally different way. So it's really interesting and really useful. You can use it for all kinds of different things. So I'll show you some samples here. Turn off my Facebook here. So for the main Impressionist brushes, here is samples of all the brushes, and you can see how every single one of them like mixes the colors different. Also, if you change the flow, you get a really different, style and a different look and a different effect. But they all look really cool. And this was months of work of experimenting, seeing how it'll look, trying to tweak this brush so that it doesn't come out in stamps, that it doesn't come out looking bad or whatever. So that's half of my collection for the Impressionist Brush Studio. And here's the other half. And there's just a billion different styles. I mean, not a billion, but you get the idea. And they all blend so differently. And that was, the point of it. And these are really great brushes that you can use for all sorts of things. And I specifically used only one color palette, so that you can see the difference of the different brushes, but with the same palette. So it gives you a really good idea. So that is the main Brush Studio brushes. And then I made these little thing called color palettes. So basically what this is a pattern, but I set the patterns up in a specific way with all the colors so that whenever you paint, it'll just look gorgeous. And this, I had kind of done this already for my own illustration, but basically what I did for my product was I filled in the blanks, because to make this product available and useful for designers of all levels, I had to think, okay, I can't just, give them the brushes and say, here, this is how you make a palette, go ahead and have fun. I thought, if I'm going to make this really useful for designers of all levels, I have to pre-make these, at least a good base collection for them, so that they can start playing, they can start having fun. So what I did was I made these, the pattern collections, and this is like little samples of all the different colors I made. So I give like a huge, kind of a rainbow, you've kind of got the whole color wheel in here of color blends, pre-made color blends, just like this. And they're all not a flat color. They all have little bits of other colors in them. They look really beautiful. Here's the second one here for the rest of this main collection. And you've got neutrals and you've got some browns and all this. So I did all of that. And what the pattern looks like, let's find one of my palettes here. So I'll give you a little preview of what a palette or a pattern looks like. And I just used a brush and I pre-did all these colors for you here like this. So you can see some of them are more subtle, some of them are more, bright and bold. Some of them have all one tone, some of them have color mixes. So it was a lot of work, but I wanted this to be like a toolkit, one of those toolkits you saw when you were a kid that has all the colors in it, so that you could just pick it up and start playing. So I think gathering all my things here and all my collections, I'm going to see how many color palettes I made. But let me tell you, it was a lot of work. So for the main collection, I made 225 of those. For the Masters collection of palettes, which these were actually pulled from the Impressionist Masters, for these I did 175, and I'll go into that in a second here. But I actually pulled these color blends from Claude Monet, from Vincent van Gogh, he's post-impressionist, but we'll call him impressionist, Renoir, Degas, all of this. So these are master color palettes, and those just, paint really beautifully. And then I thought I would do something really fun and funky, and I was kind of inspired by florals and Palm Beach and lots of, just bright kind of resort collection colors. So I made these Palm Beach garden party palettes with lots of really wild colors. And then for another palette, I did based on like an English garden or florals. So these palettes have a mix of green and red and, all the flower colors and everything, so that when you paint, you're painting like, a bouquet of flowers or a shrub or something like that. It's really amazing. So I'll go more into that later. But let's go back to the masters here. This is has been one of my most popular collections. And as you see here, when these masters, they painted a blue, they painted a pink, it wasn't just blue. They have lots of little colors in there. And in this detailed view here, you'll see some of these collections that have, when it has yellow, there's some blue in it, there's some green in it, these gorgeous greens, and all of these are selected from the masters, these Impressionist masters painting. I took the time. Here, I got one of them up here. I went in to let's find it here. One of these paintings here. This is Claude Monet. So what I would do was I would zoom in. I would take, kind of pick a little zone, like, okay, I like this general look here. Take my color picker and pick all these colors out. Blend them together. Make a palette so that when you go take your brush, you're getting all these colors. Same thing here, like with the wheat field. This one, I have a little abstracted version of this on my display thing. So I would take like a section like this. Well, I didn't mean to draw a rectangle there. A section like this. And so I'd have this blend of all these colors, and I would select these, and then I would go over here to my palette that I would make, and I would paint these in here and take all these colors. I don't know if I have my Van Gogh palettes up, but here is a sample of like ones that I've selected from Claude Monet. And as you see, they're very, diverse. You've got a lot of colors in them. This is one of my favorites. But yeah, so it just was a crap ton of time. But I just wanted to go ahead and do that so that I could make a product that anybody at any level could just pick up and start painting. So I think that was really special. And then for the some of these collections, the party collections, Palm Beach Garden Party, I wanted to make some special brushes just for that, because these kind of wild color combinations, sometimes they don't look so good in a certain way. So I made these really fun, crazy brushes, and they just, it's a blast. It's a blast working with them. You've got directionals, you've got daubs, you've got a lot of watercolors going on here. The way that they turn out is just really cool. So that is the Palm Beach Garden Party brushes. And then for the English, Romantic English Garden, I did ones that were more floral inspired. So they're not like literal flowers, but it gives the impression of a flower. So why I didn't want to just like draw this little specific leaf and make it just look super realistic. When I would make something that looks kind of like a leaf, I'd make it more of like a color daub or something. So, I mean, my brush tip wouldn't be like, oh, let's just draw a literal leaf. And so as you see here, I'll scroll through my Impressionist brushes. They're just really cool, really blendy. They give the impression of flowers, of floral, and you can use them with any of the flower, palettes. But what's cool is all of these are palettes, all of these are brushes. So you can take these floral brushes and use your Impressionist palettes. You could take your regular brushes and use your party palettes. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So in total, I have just made hundreds and hundreds of resources, but these aren't just things that you're gonna like, oh, this is cool for a little bit and then I'm over it. This is something that's like really gonna change the way you paint forever in Photoshop. And since I've released this, I have had just an unbelievable you know, an unbelievable experience of hearing from the designers that have bought my products before that they're just flipping out about these brushes. They're just like, you know, this is amazing, this is revolutionary. And, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I do think that it's something pretty cool. And it's, for me, it's something that came out of a need for myself. I want to save time. I want to do things faster. So like, let me just grab one of my brushes here. So, you know, I can take this brush and let's grab my tool preset. Thank you. Find a layer. You know, I can grab this and just start painting and making some leaves or something. I can go up here. Let's, you know, pick another color palette, do the same thing. It's just so much fun. There's so many possibilities. You can make anything. There's many different styles. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a overview on this new technique that I've used in making these brushes. And I'll give you a little preview here of the images on my shop. But, you know, kind of break it down for you and show you how I was able to sort of, you know, hack Photoshop to do something really new, to really change the way people are painting. And also not just to keep this for myself, because I could just, you know, kind of keep this little, you know, it's kind of a hack. I could kind of keep it for myself, but, you know, a lot of my products are about teaching other designers. So I wanted to share this with everybody. So I'm, you know, showing you guys how you can do this. And basically, you know, I have a product for sale that, you know, you can buy and just start playing, illustrating, having a blast. Or you can, you know, take my advice, see what I'm doing when you buy the brushes, and, you know, you can even make your own. But for right now, I have this here, and I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the backstory of how I came across this new technique and how I took a feature here, the pattern stamp tool, that designers, nobody's really using this in this way, at least to my knowledge, and definitely not on a product. So maybe there's some designers out there using it for their personal stuff, but I'm really glad to bring this to the attention of everybody and, you know, let people know of a little known sort of feature in Photoshop that not like people are not going, let me just get my pattern stamp tool. Let me put it in impressionist mode. Let me make some palettes that are just colors here, and then, you know, start painting. So I kind of wanted to share that with everybody, and hopefully, you know, people will share it and start painting and kind of doing things that they didn't think were possible in Photoshop. So hopefully you enjoyed my little tour. And I have 4 of the brushes that I'm putting up today that anybody can download for free and start playing with. So hopefully it'll get shared. Hopefully Adobe will share it. And I look forward to seeing all your comments.